When Hollywood woke up Thursday morning, nobody expected the devastating news that would shake the entire entertainment industry. Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa passed away in Santa Barbara due to complications from a stroke, and what his family revealed next has fans around the world absolutely heartbroken. The 75-year-old legend who brought Shang Tsung to life didn't just leave behind an incredible legacy, he left behind secrets about his final days that nobody saw coming. And the truth behind his remarkable journey will absolutely blow your mind. Tagawa died early Thursday morning surrounded by his children. But here's what makes this story even more devastating. The man who terrified audiences as one of cinema's most iconic villains spent his final moments in peace with the people he loved most. His manager, Margie Weiner, described him as generous and thoughtful, someone whose dedication to his craft was absolutely unmatched. But wait until you hear about the incredible path that led him to stardom, because Tagawa's story isn't what anyone expected from a Hollywood icon. Born to Tokyo to a mother who was actually a stage actress in Japan, Tagawa's life took a dramatic turn when his family moved to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, when he was just 5 years old. Picture this, a Japanese kid growing up in the American South during the 1950s. In a revealing 2010 interview, Tagawa opened up about how brutal that experience really was, describing it as pretty tough. His mother had specifically asked him not to pursue acting because there just weren't enough good roles for Asian performers back then. But here's where the story gets absolutely wild. Tagawa didn't even start his acting career until he was 36 years old. Before becoming one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces, this future legend worked as a celery farmer, drove limousines, delivered pizza supplies, and even worked as a photojournalist. Can you imagine Shang Tsung harvesting celery? The journey from those humble beginnings to international stardom is absolutely mind-blowing, and what happened next changed everything. At 21, Tagawa became obsessed with traditional Japanese karate while studying at the University of Southern California. He didn't stop there. He actually moved back to Japan to train under Master Nakayama with the Japan Karate Association. But here's the twist nobody expected. Tagawa eventually created his own martial arts system called Chun-Shin, which he described as a study of energy completely without any physical fighting concept. This wasn't about competition or combat. It was something entirely different. And this philosophy would later influence everything about his approach to acting. His career truly exploded in 1987 when he landed a role in Bernardo Bertolucci's The Last Emperor, which went on to win 9 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Tagawa later described this opportunity as mind-boggling, admitting he almost blurted out asking how much he'd have to pay for the privilege of working with one of the world's top directors. The film was shot in China, and for someone who had spent years doing odd jobs just to survive, this felt like an impossible dream come true. But the real breakthrough that would define his entire career was still coming. Everything changed in 1995 when Paul W.S. Anderson's Mortal Kombat hit theaters. Tagawa portrayed the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung with such chilling perfection that the role became instantly iconic. In a 2019 interview, he reflected on why the film became such a massive success, crediting the perfect timing with the video game's momentum and Anderson's brilliant creative choices. The really upbeat, driving metal music matched the action so incredibly well that audiences couldn't look away. Tagawa didn't just play Shang Tsung once, he brought the character to life across multiple films, TV series, and video games spanning nearly 3 decades.
He appeared in the 1997 sequel Annihilation, guest starred in the 2013 series Mortal Kombat Legacy, showed up in Mortal Kombat X Generations in 2015, voiced the character in Mortal Kombat 11 in 2019, and lent his physical likeness to Mortal Kombat Onslaught in 2023.
When asked about reprising the role so many times, Tagawa expressed pure joy, saying it gave him opportunities to refresh the character for new generations. The game kept getting bigger, and he believed it would continue forever. While Mortal Kombat became a defining part of his career, Tagawa was quick to point out that he'd been fortunate enough to appear in numerous cult classics that people genuinely remembered. But what fans don't realize is just how incredibly diverse his filmography actually was. Tagawa's career included working with some of the biggest directors in Hollywood history. Philip Kaufman, Tim Burton, Michael Bay, Rob Marshall, Ivan Reitman, and John Carpenter all recognized his talent and brought him into their projects. His first role was actually an uncredited swordsman in John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China back in 1986, a film that flopped at the box office but later became a cult classic. From there, he appeared in the James Bond film License to Kill in 1989, Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes in 2001, and played the Baron in Rob Marshall's Memoirs of a Geisha in 2005. He showed up in Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, appeared in Elektra as Master Roshi, played Heihachi Mishima in Tekken, and even had a brief cameo in Ivan Reitman's comedy Twins. His television work was equally impressive and showed incredible range. Tagawa played Lieutenant A.J. Shimamura on Nash Bridges and had a major role as Captain Terry Harada on NBC's Hawaii. He appeared in 6 episodes of ABC's Revenge as Satoshi Takeda, guest starred on Miami Vice, MacGyver, and Star Trek The Next Generation early in his career, and had recurring roles on Netflix's Lost in Space and Star Wars Rebels. But perhaps his most critically acclaimed television role came as Trade Minister Nobusuke Tagomi in Amazon's Emmy award-winning series The Man in the High Castle. His most recent credited work was voicing the Sword Maker in Season 1 of Netflix's acclaimed animated series Blue Eye Samurai.
Over 4 decades, Tagawa appeared in more than 150 film, television, and video game projects. Think about that for a second. 150 different roles, each one bringing something unique to audiences around the world. Despite often being typecast as villains, Tagawa understood the reality of Hollywood. In a 2007 interview with the Honolulu Advertiser, he acknowledged that he wouldn't have gotten opportunities to play good guys if he hadn't first established himself playing those memorable bad guys. He also observed that while opportunities for Asian actors were better than they'd ever been, they still hadn't increased as much as they should have, and commercial exposure remained limited. Beyond acting, Tagawa developed something called ninja sports, incorporating martial arts as both a training and healing tool. He worked with professional athletes, including World Boxing Council light flyweight champion Brian Viloria, and even advised members of the University of Hawaii football team. His approach to martial arts wasn't about violence or competition. It was about energy, healing, and self-improvement, reflecting the philosophy he developed decades earlier with Chun Shin. Tagawa lived on the beautiful island of Kauai with his wife Sally, where they built a life together and raised their family away from Hollywood's chaos. The couple created a peaceful existence in paradise, far from the spotlight that had defined so much of his professional life. He found balance between his demanding career and the simple joys of island living, spending time with his children and eventually his grandchildren. His manager Margie Weiner shared that their professional relationship had grown into something much deeper over the years. Tagawa had become like family to her. She described him as a rare soul whose generosity, thoughtfulness, and endless commitment to his craft made him truly special. The loss, she said, was immeasurable, and her heart goes out to everyone who loved him.
The outpouring of tributes from colleagues, fans, and friends across social media has been overwhelming, with people sharing their favorite memories and expressing shock at the sudden loss. Tagawa is survived by his 3 children, Kaylin, Brinny, and Kana, and his 2 grandchildren, River and Thea Clayton. The family's privacy during this difficult time should be respected as they process this tremendous loss. What makes this even more poignant is knowing that Tagawa died doing what defined his entire philosophy, surrounding himself with love, family, and peace rather than chaos and conflict. The entertainment industry has lost more than just a talented actor. Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa represented perseverance, dedication, and the courage to pursue dreams even when the odds seemed impossible. From celery farming to becoming one of the most recognizable faces in action cinema, from being told acting wasn't a viable path to creating a legacy that spans generations, Tagawa proved that determination and authenticity could overcome any obstacle. His portrayal of Shang Tsung will forever remain one of cinema's most iconic villain performances, but his impact extends far beyond any single role. He opened doors for Asian actors in Hollywood, worked tirelessly to perfect his craft, and brought dignity and depth to every character he portrayed. The world may have lost Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, but his legacy through film, television, and the countless lives he touched will continue inspiring future generations of performers and martial artists for decades to come.